How you doing, Miss Joyce?
I'm awesome, Krystal. Thank you so much. I'm honored that you would even have me. Thank you so much.
Well, first of all, I love you. My mom loves you, which is hilarious. So I told my mom, like, I'm going to interview Joyce. She like, that's my girl.
Love her. And who knew that you were from here? See, I'm so lost and so, look, I had no idea, but you're like my sister for life now. So.
Yes. And you also are teaching people how to start their online boutiques, or not even online, but just a successful boutique. And so I really wanted to interview you about that. But first, let's get into your story. How did you start on and off the runway boutique? And has it always been you're in Southfield, which is a suburb of Detroit. Has it always been there? Did it start online? Talk to me about your journey.
So my journey, I'm so blessed to have started on and off the runway because, of course, like so many, I started scared. I was not believing that I could do something like this. And so it took some motivation for myself and my family and my husband and everybody around me. But we actually started online. We started online April 25th of 2015.
Wow.
In my living room, scared as I wanted to be, but I started. And I think that's most important. So first of all, I really not just only ask God for direction. I know that we say that all the time, but anybody that follows me know that I'm a church girl. They know that somewhere up in there, she got a relationship with God and she's selling clothes. So,
and she fly.
I'm trying to be, but so no, I asked God for direction, and I lead worship at my church. Shout out to Greater Grace Temple, Detroit.
Why did I never know that? I never knew that. Are you serious?
My husband actually, Bishop Ellis is my husband's nephew.
Wow.
I mean, Bishop Ellis is my husband's uncle. My husband is his nephew.
Okay.
So brother and brother are sisters. So long story there. So yeah, and I of course that's my first. So let's start there. That was my first ever passion. It was singing.
Okay.
That's what I did, and I knew that, of course, I'm not trying to be whatever, but I knew that I could do that well. That was something that I owned, and it's something that nobody could take away from me. Nobody could come and split my chest open and just say, hey, give me that voice. Right. It was sacred to me. It was something that God had given me, and I held it dear. And I traveled the world singing abroad with some great, great, great people, behind Destiny's Child and Kelly Rowland, and I did the plays and Tyler Perry and all of that stuff. And so, of course, you would think, or one would think, that you're on the track to doing this forever.
Singer, yes.
But that didn't work out for me. I'm not sure if it didn't work out for me because I just didn't fight hard enough, and I often struggle with that thought. But then as I was doing worship, I was just trying to contemplate, well, what am I going to do when I move to Detroit? Like, my husband lives here, and of course I moved here because I got married, and I was just like, what am I going to do? I'm used to traveling on the road. And then in my worship, which is one of the sweetest places ever to be at, that's my favorite place, the Lord spoke to me on and off the runway. And I know I'm not trying to be super deep. But
No. Come
I'm
on.
just telling the people the truth.
I got on a whole girl plus God shirt. Like, come on.
Yes, girl plus God. I mean, I own who I am, and God is all of who I am. It's a part of my life and a part of my journey. And so he spoke to me on and off the runway. I really didn't know what that meant at the time. I know that I was asking him like for guidance and for direction. But then I was like, on and off the runway. Runway sounds like fashion. So I was like, oh, let me just see if that will work. And so, of course, I consulted my then fiance, and I consulted my mentor. And I was just like, so you guys think I can do this? Like, what if I get, because I can get tired of stuff. Like, I can get tired of stuff, and I'm like, I'll start something.
That's me. Like, I'll start a whole nother business. Like, girl, what are you doing?
It's not moving fast enough for me.
Like, what are you doing?
But God took that idea, and of course, when you first start, you're scared and you're not sure if you're going to be accepted. You don't know. I just made all of my family members, y'all better like my picture. Like, listen, when I post, I want to see a like, because when you like my picture, your people see my picture, your audience and your friends see my picture. So I started there, and that's pretty much all she wrote. And from there, I dare to say that God blew on it. And it's so amazing, not just that he blew on it, but that he allowed me to wake up with the determination that I'm not giving up on this.
Right.
Like, I'm going to continue doing this. And all of the beautiful people that ever clicked to like on my page, that ever motivated me, that ever encouraged me to keep going, whether you get 5 likes, 500 likes, 1,500 likes, keep going. It's the number one thing that I would say to anybody. You have to keep going, especially if God called you to do it.
Yeah.
If God didn't call you to do it, okay, still keep going, but
Right.
I mean, find out what you're supposed to do.
Right.
Find out what you're supposed to be doing. There's so many people everywhere you look around, Krystal, people want, you see a boutique, a new boutique here, a new boutique there, and that's fine. But you cannot get into any business, whether it's this business or another, thinking that, oh, that looks like it's making money, so I'll do that. Or this looks lucrative, I'll do that. You have to find out, what is it that God has gifted me to do? What are the tools that I can find that I do easy? You know what I'm saying? Just knowing that you're called to something makes all the difference.
So I know obviously you have a beautiful showroom right now. And when did you open that?
Last year, actually, July 2019. Wait, July 2018. July was 1 year.
Okay.
So I opened July. Did I say July? November, Black Friday.
Okay.
So I don't know where July is coming from. I got signed the lease in July.
Okay.
So yeah. So I have a showroom in Southfield, and it's crazy.
So beautiful. So beautiful. So what do you tell, because I know that you have a program now where you are showing women, or I'm not even sure if it's open to whoever, if they want to have a boutique. What are the first steps that you say? I think you already gave one, and that was just know if this is, for you. Don't just do it because you're like, I know I can make a lot of money. Are you going to be willing to put the blood, sweat, and tears in there?
Yeah.
What are some first steps for people who are interested in a boutique? And I'm sure the people are like, well, everybody's doing this. I have seen a bunch of them pop up. I won't be able to be like on and off the runway. So should I even start?
It's just crazy that people think on and off the runway is anything, really, because I'm learning as I go every single day. I don't know it all. I'm just trying to see what works, and I think the first thing to do after you find out if you're called to it, the second thing I would say is, who are you serving? Like, identify your audience. Who are you selling to? I'm a church girl. So some church girls, because and then first of all, I'm a church girl and a singer. So you're on a platform. So there's ways that I wanted to dress that the mothers be like, baby, you need to, you know what I'm saying? But I wanted to be fly.
Right.
I wanted to be fly, and it's not that I wanted to be fly. I just wanted to be me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Who is fly? She is fly. Yes.
But I'm just like, we can be saved and we can still be fly. We can still look good and all that kind of stuff. And then I'm newly married, and I'm like, this ain't Sunday school when you're married.
Right.
Date night. Let's find the balance here. And so people that were church girls and who loved the Lord and who were singers started to come around and on my page and all those things. And so I would think, I would say to those who are trying to do this, find out who you're selling to, and find out what they like. What some things that I rock on and off the runway, I probably wouldn't rock in my personal life, because at the end of the day, you're selling. What is it they're coming to your page to see? Make that available.
Right.
Make that available and I've missed the mark so many times. I'm like, but I like it. Why don't they like it?
Yeah.
But you're selling to them, not to yourself.
So I'm so glad you said that, because I say that all the time. Like, we are not our customer. And so it's important that you're excited and you believe in what you're putting out, but that doesn't necessarily mean that your customer wants or needs that. So you got to be about your people.
Absolutely. And
so do you need like a whole lot of money? You need, your business credit got to be good. You got to have the hottest vendor list, because, everybody got a vendor list, and you got to go to Vegas and you got to buy all this inventory. It just seems like, how do I even start this?
I didn't know what to do, but you know what I did? I did a lot of research. And what I wanted to do is I started before I went to, did I start before I went to a vendor show? I'm not sure, but I had it on, I planned it out and I had a schedule.
Okay.
I took one of my paychecks And then I found out when I got to Vegas, I didn't even need a check. I didn't even need a checkbook. I didn't even need my debit card. You order it when you get there. So when you pre-order it or order it when you get there, they'll ship it to you later. So I came all ready to, so should I get a loan before I go? No. Should I have all this money before I go? No. But you want to at least I had one paycheck. I paid for inventory using one paycheck, and the rest is history. It's kind of like, I told my husband, it's kind of like gambling. It's kind of like, okay, I'm about to buy this with this $1,000, and I'm going to split this all up. I'm going to get 4 or 5 or 6 or 7 different styles using this $1,000. And then I'm going to sell out, hopefully. And this is what I said to the Lord. I was like, now, Jesus, if all these other people can do it on social media, I got all of my clothes on, Lord, and I'm just trying to give you glory. And what, you have this whole thing like, right, do it, Jesus.
You know that's how I be feeling about this. Like, come on, God, you see your name.
And you are doing it, girl. Please, I love it. But one of the things I said is, all I need to do is sell 2 smalls, 2 mediums, and 2 larges. Now, Lord, I know it's 6 people out there. I'm just buy the pack of clothes. That's how I started. Okay. And then so it happened. I used that money and I flipped it. I used that money and I flipped it again. You know what I'm saying? And so to start off, you want to have a website, which is minimal cost, because I started online. So there's not a lot of expenses. You want to make sure that you are absolutely trying to do it right. And was my website perfect when I started? Absolutely not. Is it perfect now? No, I find mistakes everywhere. When I say mistakes, I'm like, oh, I should add that, or I should add that.
That's never ending though.
Yeah. So you're always trying to, grow as you go. Right. But you want to make sure that it's inviting to the eye. You want to make sure that, things are, if it ain't almost right, can't nobody tell that, but you and maybe some other, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
You want to put your best foot forward is what I'm trying to say. So it's really, really not a lot of money to get you started.
Right. So what would you say outside of course, being completely guided by God along your journey has been, the thing that has helped you grow the most? Is it having a solid niche and knowing exactly who you're talking to? Do you think that that's your marketing? Do you think it's because you just so fly? What has been that thing that has helped on and off the runway grow as much as it has?
Well, one of the things, and I have to be honest, doing something like this and putting yourself out there, first of all, I grew up in a single parent home. My father was never around. I probably see my father a handful of times. So there were self-esteem issues. So me getting in front of a camera for the whole world to judge me was not something that I was planning to do at all. But when you're walking in your purpose, and it goes back to asking God for guidance, He will take all those things that are not repaired and start building those things in you. So self-confidence was a byproduct of On and Off the Runway. You know what I'm saying? Self-esteem building was so if I can't teach you how to rock something and say, don't just wear it, rock it, if I'm not rocking it, and if I'm not confident, if I'm not selling you something so believable that you will take your wallet out of your purse. First of all, walk wherever your purse is, get your wallet out, go through the prompts, go through all those steps to buy something that means that, oh, I believe what she's selling me. And so I had to believe it. And so it's a lot of work on the inside that it took for me. So On and Off the Runway has become a ministry. It's not just become, and I say that all the time, there would be no purpose for me to just sell clothes. I mean, that's unfulfilling. I'm just selling clothes. Honey, you want to buy because I'm here to make this money. But when I get a phone call or when I get an email from a wife or a husband who says, thank you so much, my wife is so fly, what else you got for her? I want to get this for her birthday. That makes me, it's like Christmas. I'm just like, oh my God, this is so awesome. Because there's so many people, especially, I'm just speaking from the church world perspective, that we thought that we had to dress a certain way. Right. I couldn't wear pants until I was at my mother's house. I probably still didn't get used to it until I was like 21. And then all of a sudden they found out we could wear pants. And I'm just like, now really? Now where'd that come from?
All this time,
we sitting wearing blue jean shorts in the swimming pool. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that. But so dressing became a part of who I was. It was like, I don't want to just be like, it was always that I would find something and people would be like, how did you put that? Like, yeah. I know you can write that like that. It's a form of your personality, and that's what creates your style. It's just you rock who you are. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I've lived by, and it has grown on and off the runway.
And it's amazing.
Oh, and I wanted to say something else too, Krystal, because you asked me a question. I don't know so how did it grow to this point? I have to say that not just once you find a customer who like building relationships. A lot of us are in a world by ourselves because nobody wants to help us. Nobody wants to give us information. You know, there's a lot of celebrities who call you, but there are some celebrities who's called me. They've not only just said, Joyce, can you send me this for free? I would hear like in the middle of the night, a cha-ching, cha-ching, cha-ching. And I would look and it would be Tasha Cobbs. I would look and it would be Kiara Sheard. I would look and it would be all these, Miranda Curtis. They weren't just asking me to provide them with clothing. They were really supporting my business.
Right.
And then they would go on their pages and they would support that way and say, y'all got a shot with her. She's fly. And so that's what, and Jay Bolin was a huge part of my success because he started asking for things for his clients. And then he posted me. So when you have to use that when someone if you're giving someone a free service or a free product and they post you on their page, and they have a significant number of followers, it's going to grow your business because he's going to say, hey, go shop with her. She has great stuff. And then you continue building. And it's important to maintain good relationships.
Yes.
Don't burn bridges.
Yes.
If you can help it. If you're going to burn a bridge, you might as well just go on and burn yourself right on up out of this business.
There you go.
I mean, just keep it classy. Whether you get good criticism, off the wall, you know what I'm saying? I've received it all, but I use it all to help me grow.
How do you stand out amongst the, fashion novas now? And I hear a lot of boutique owners say, it's hard for me to compete with this fast fashion. A lot of your stuff, I haven't seen at other boutiques because sometimes I'll see somebody have it at one boutique and it's at 5 more. But when I see your stuff, it's like some unique pieces. Like, how are you doing this, sis? You always
Well, just that. I think that you have to have an eye. I tell my mentees, I know some of them probably joined because they want the vendor list. Well, I don't have a vendor list to give anyone. You know why? Because I want people to fight for it. When you fight for what you want and when you invest in yourself and when you research this, I can give you my whole vendor list, but I can't take my eyes out of my head and give them.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You have to make sure, like, okay, for example, about 3 years ago, this lady was like, I just want you to give me some of your vendors. I gave her about 10 vendors. I gave her 10 vendors. I didn't know no better. I gave her 10 vendors. And then she calls me back and she was just like, none of the stuff that you have are on these vendors, on this vendor list. And I was just like, yeah, it is. And she was like, are you sure? Yes. You have to see it. And so sometimes things are not just paired, like the outfit that you have, that was one piece, that was sewed together. But sometimes you have to piece these things together. And how do you do that? You have to have an eye for style, an eye for fashion. So I'm thankful that, yes, we can stand out because we can, all the information, all the things that I get, anybody can get it. You just have to have the eyes to see it. And that's important.
Is very important. And so you just said mentee, so you have a program so that people can work with you. Talk to me about that and talk to me about how we can join you to start our boutiques.
I have a hard time saying mentees because I'm just like, I'm somebody's mentor, Jesus.
Yes, you are.
Well, I didn't plan on starting that either. I got so flooded with all of these DMs and emails for just not, for over the last 3 or 4 years asking, could you please be my mentor? And I'm just like, there's people out there mentoring, go, but there's some people that some people connect to. And I think that we all have a part for one common goal, and that's to grow, not just the body of Christ, but this body of people who are hungry to be entrepreneurs, who are hungry for success. And so Behind the Runway is my little baby. And Behind the Runway came about because everybody sees the picture, right? Everybody sees you on the runway. Everybody sees the glam. Everybody sees the picture and your pose. But behind the runway is all that work you got to do.
Yes.
To get to the pose.
Yes.
So Behind the Runway is my baby, and we just launched it in April. And of course, Now we're in a pandemic. We were going to have this big, situation, not just a big situation, but I wanted people to feel loved and come together, because there's so often, if I can just add, there's not enough networking. Everybody's in competition with each other, that nobody wants to help each other. And everybody wants to be on this island by themselves. I'll just grow my business. When you see Asian people and all these other people, they're networking together, helping each other. And when we're going to LA buying all this product, when we could come together and purchase it for much, much, much cheaper when we buy more quantity, right? So I'm working on something special with that. But with the Behind the Runway mentees, I hate to call them mentees, but that's what they are.
They are mentees.
They're my professional colleagues. Hey, they're my colleagues.
However you want to say it, they are learning and they are growing.
They are growing. Yes. And so we have I have another call tonight. So with the mentees, and what we teach and what we try to empower them with is, first of all, for them to believe in themselves. Okay. Everybody wants 100,000 followers. Everybody wants 500,000 followers. But are you ready? And if God gave it to you, can you handle it? Because yesterday I was at work on a Sunday and I had to leave my husband, which I do all the time. Lord Jesus, I need balance. But if people don't show up for work, guess who has to be there? Because people are looking at On and Off the Runway. They're not going to call Sally. They're not going to call Sue. They're not going to blast you on your page. They're going to be on and Off the Runway. It's like, where is my stuff? I want my stuff. And so we have to, number one, be willing to be patient enough to go through the process. And so many times we're so impatient, and you want to be like this one, you want to be like that one, and I want to be like that one, when you have to find out, like, God, what did you give me specifically? I know we always say that we are uniquely and we made in His image and all that kind of stuff, but really, do you really believe that? Because you have the creativity within yourselves. God has given us, each of us, tools, I believe, that can create wealth on the earth for us. And it's not, yes, I'm inspired by a lot of people. I'm inspired. Jay Bolden, everybody that knows me knows that I love him. He's my friend, he's my brother, but he is so dope. Yes. And he has found his niche. Any piece that he styles and you see anybody in his stuff, it's a check mark. Like, that's Jay Bolden.
It just works.
It just works. And you have to find out what works for you. And when you find out what works for you, you'll stop looking at somebody else's grass trying to see if I should, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. You'll be like, okay, God, the gifts that you've given me, let's put it to work. And so that's where we start. We start with motivation, okay. Helping them understand who they are, believing in who you are. And so our theme is prayer, purpose, prayer, plan, pursue. So when you plan and you're strategic, and I heard our sister, Miss Carrie baby, say this: if you can't plan 24 hours in a day, how you think you're gonna plan 30? How you think you're gonna come up with another? You know what I'm saying? So write down your goals. And so I took that and I write down my goals daily. Yes, I have a business plan, and they hate the homework, but it's so essential because it helps us be productive. Have you ever gone through the day and you're like, I've been sitting here all this time busy, but I ain't got nothing done?
What did I do? Or
you
stuck on social media.
Absolutely.
You on the phone, you watching TV. I tell people that all the time. Don't tell me you can't start anything, because I can go through your day and tell you exactly when you could have been working on it.
Absolutely, Krystal. It's so important. So now I write things down and I get things done. And I try to be as realistic as I can. You know what I'm saying? Things like prioritization. So those are the kinds of things that we start with. They're ready to get to the vendor list.
Of course. Right. Because everybody want to jump out there and start.
Right. Everybody want to get
they got the seat.
That's not the key. The key is not the vendor list. The key is your integrity. The key is the process. The key is the discipline.
Girl, you better. Man.
One of those. No, because you can look, God can give us everything that we want right now, but He knows that I'm not ready to be at 500,000 followers. I was just crying yesterday saying, Lord, she didn't even show up for work, Jesus. And I'm just like, you know what I'm saying? What do you do in those situations? So what we're trying to do is create a network of colleagues and professionals that can come together and talk about, what would you do in this situation? How would you handle this customer? What would you do with this? You know what I'm saying? I'm not trying to get people's money. I'm trying to get something to them. I can take their money and say, here, girl, give me $500 for this information for a day and let me go on about my business. But I chose a quarter because I want to see growth.
So I just want to know how we can join this program, and if it's closed, how we get on the wait list. Just tell me how to do that and to get in touch with you and follow you.
Yes, you can follow Joyce-Sheffield, SHEF as in Frank, F as in Frank, IELD.com, and all of the information is there. So yes, we're on a waiting list right now, which blows my mind. I'm just like, but that's what God does. He blows your mind when you are walking and fulfilling purpose. And does purpose feel good all the time? No. I gotta study. I gotta do homework. I gotta check homework. I gotta prepare packages on Sunday when employees don't show up. So it's
close, trying to figure it out.
Trying to figure it out. And that's all we're trying to do, Krystal, right? Because you're amazing. Your stuff is amazing. You're all over speaking in all these great places. And anybody that looks at, everybody thinks they want that. But I just be like, be careful what you ask for. It's no joke. Because what comes with the call of God is sometimes a lonely place. Sometimes you have to pull away from some people. Some people that you love and some people that, been riding with you think for a while. When they see success, it's kind of scary because they're not willing to go to the same measures.
You're about to make me cry today on the interview. I'm not about to play with you.
Don't you cry, girl, because we got this, and God knows it's not. They see the glam, but it's a lot of work behind that runway, child.
Oh my goodness,
it's a lot of work.
I just love you. I love you. And I just need everybody to go and support you. Buy something from On and Off the Runway. Go follow her. We're going to get you to 500,000.
Hey, well, that was quick.
We're going to get, wait a minute. We're going to support you. I love you so much.
Thank you so
much for being here today. I love you. Thank you.
I appreciate you. I love you so much. Thank you for having me.